It was like something out of a movie, something you would not expect to see.
I felt so sorry for those people that I couldn't help them sooner, couldn't get to them sooner. I felt really sorry for them, and I still do. I felt helpless in a way that I couldn't help them as fast as I wanted to. And I was very, very scared.
Officers say there was nothing that could have mentally prepared them for what they saw moments after Monday's shooting rampage at Emcore.
Tonight, the officers described what was going through their minds as they tried to save people desperately begging for their help. Antoinette Antonio is here with the officers' emotional accounts. Antoinette.
The first officer to get to Emcore says he was responding to a call of shots fired, but saw a completely different scene. He says it was chaos, women crying and screaming and pleading with officers not to leave their side.
I remember the first girl, I don't even know her name. I remember picking her up and dragging her to my car, and I can go through my head how cold she was. She was so cold.
Officer Eric Martinez, the first to arrive to the scene of this shooting rampage at Emcore. Multiple people were shot, and at the time they thought multiple shooters could still be on the loose. The first priority, getting the shooting victims to safety.
They were scared. I know they were saying, please help me, don't leave me. Please help me, I'm hurt. They were begging for help. I've never seen anything like that.
And then we turned around to each other and said, we got to get these people out of here. They're dying. We got to get them out of here.
That's when officers started loading the victims into patrol cars to get them to ambulances waiting down the street.
I slung my gun. He went around to the other side of the car, opened the door, and I proceeded to lift her up, get her into the car, and he also pulled her in from the other side, and there was blood everywhere. Blood all over the car, all over us.
I believe it was Officer McCumber. He ran around the side of the passenger side of the vehicle, and he was shaking his hands because he was soaked with blood.
As more officers showed up to the scene, frantic employees continued to rush out the building.
The level of fear and everything was up there. Everybody, they wanted to get out of there.
We now know there was only one shooter, Robert Ressa, who turned the gun on himself after killing 2 people. Another 4 were hurt, including Adrian Bassiano, his ex-girlfriend and intended target. Officer Wayne McCumber says a victim he believes was Bassiano was more worried about her kids than her own gunshot wounds.
And I just had to keep reassuring her at that time everything was going to be okay. Her kids are okay. She's going to make it, and I wasn't going to leave her until we got up there to the ambulance together.
While the officers we talked to today were helping victims, there was a separate active shooter team looking for the gunman. The officers say the hardest part of Monday's ordeal was finding out one of the victims they tried to save had passed away at the hospital. Tom, back to you.
Thank you, Antoinette.